Hi, everyone. I'm Peter Albrecht.
And I'm Devin Walsh. Thanks for watching. First on 5 breaking news. Investigators are serving search warrants, new ones, in the case of Susan Mayo. The 60-year-old woman has been missing since June 17th, and deputies fear she may be dead. Investigators have called her son a person of interest, and today we spoke with him for the first time. News 5's Emily DeVoe is live in Wilmer in West Mobile County with more on that. Emily?
Detectives spent several hours at the house behind me, but ultimately left empty-handed. They returned here to the home of that missing woman and her son after cadaver dogs seemed to keep circling around a particular shed in the back of the property. This was their main focus today as they looked inside that shed for any kind of evidence. But like I said, they ultimately left without finding what they were really hoping to find, which would be any kind of blood evidence or potentially a body. As Captain Birch has said, this missing woman is supposedly deceased at this point because she never picked up her paychecks and no one has seen or heard from her since June. Now, her son, Nathaniel Sebastian, who lives at the house and who was actually sitting out on his porch while officers were there, he's been considered a person of interest throughout this entire case, and we got to speak with him briefly where he told us he's not the man responsible.
I'm innocent. I mean, I just don't know where to look or where to go. I mean, my mom lives kind of private. I mean, you know.
There's some very strange family dynamics in this case, so I don't want to get into additional suspects, but it's safe to say when an arrest comes, Nathaniel won't be the only arrest.
Captain Paul Birch told us that they're still thinking that her son, Nathaniel, may know more than he's letting on. But of course, you heard from Nathaniel, who said he's innocent and doesn't even know where to look. Reporting live in Wilmer, I'm Emily DeVoe, News 5.
Thanks, Emily. This afternoon, a teenager was arrested for deliberately setting fire to an apartment complex. Here he is, 19-year-old Edward Brookins, being escorted to Metro Jail from police headquarters. Yesterday on News 5, we were live as Mobile Fire Rescue was looking for him. They say that he set someone's Auburn door wreath on fire at the Oak Ridge Apartments on Moffett Road. Brookins is charged with arson, resisting arrest, and failure to obey an officer.
In Baldwin County, police are looking for a man who ran away during a traffic stop today. They're looking for this man, 26-year-old Taylor Nelson. Police say he had a gun on him when they pulled him over in Foley. They say he tossed it and then got away. Nelson has outstanding warrants for domestic violence and for failing to appear in court.
Staying in Baldwin County, the search is on for a missing man who suffers from mental illness. 61-year-old Donald Gregory was last seen Sunday walking away from his house in Foley. Let's bring in News 5's Debbie Williams, who's been following the search today in Foley for the latest.
Well, Pete, the last time that Donnie Gregory was actually seen was on Highway 98. He was hitchhiking. He was picked up and dropped off in Lillian. He wanted to go to Pensacola, and that's where his niece believes he is right now, in Pensacola. Kimberly Bethard has been Gregory's primary caregiver for the last 17 years. She says when they went to bed Sunday night, everyone was home, but by the time they woke up Monday morning, Donnie was gone. He has walked off before, but has never been gone this long, and that has her concerned. He has been diagnosed with paranoid schizophrenia, but Bethard says he wouldn't hurt a fly.
If you see him, just say, hey, Donnie, come here. You can carry on a conversation and ask him, would you like to go home, you know, and I love him and I'm trying to find him.
Now, Gregory was last seen wearing a green shirt, camouflage shorts, tennis shoes, and a U.S. Navy ball cap. If you have seen him or know where he is, you're asked to call your local law enforcement agency or the Baldwin County Sheriff's Office. Live on the Baldwin County beat in Foley, Debbie Williams, News 5.
Thank you very much, Debbie. Well, it is the largest residential development to come to downtown Mobile in more than 50 years. Today, officials broke ground on the Meridian at the Port luxury apartment complex. As News 5's Katerina Lukatich reports, it's part of a bigger vision for downtown.
267 luxury apartments, a saltwater pool, and a roof deck lounge. These are just a few of the things the Meridian at the Port will feature when it opens in 2019.
For me, these projects get a lot more fun when they're impactful and they're not just, garden variety run-of-the-mill projects.
The $51 million project is supported with funding from both the city and the county. For Mobile officials, today's groundbreaking wasn't just the start of construction on this complex, but marks the beginning of a larger revitalization plan for downtown Mobile.
It will be transformative, and we'll hope that it'll be catalytic.
I think that broke the seal on a lot of people realizing, hey, something big is getting ready to happen, and we want to do our project.
Just across the street, Mayor Stimson says developers are working to build another large apartment complex. Paired with the Meridian at the port, the two developments, in addition to several other smaller projects, will bring 700 apartments to the area. City officials hope with all the projects planned, this encourages more people to not only live downtown, but to walk the streets as well.
We've got to find ways to get people from across the street here in the various hotels and some level of interaction with our waterfront. This project accomplishes that mission to some degree.
City officials say they're excited to build off the foundation the Meridian at the port will establish to create a more inviting atmosphere downtown. In Mobile, Katerina Lukatich, News 5.
Well, Meridian at the port is scheduled to open in 2019. The apartments are expected to rent for somewhere between $1,000 and $1,200. Across the bay, another development is one step closer to being complete. Construction began this week on the Magnolia Medical Park in Fairhope. The new 36,000 square foot facility will be located at the intersection of Greeno and Twin Beach Roads. The complex will house urgent cares, primary care, physical therapy, along with outpatient orthopedics.
Now a News 5 crime alert. We are seeing new surveillance video of an armed robbery in Theodore. It happened late Monday night at the Shell gas station on Theodore Dawes Road near the I-10 exit. You can see the robber going behind the counter and holding the cashier at gunpoint. No one was harmed. The suspect drove off in an older model gold vehicle.
5 days after driving her car into the water, a Pensacola woman has passed away from her injuries. This was the scene yesterday at Bayou Grande in Pensacola. That was actually last week. According to the Florida Highway Patrol, the woman, 54-year-old Angela Clark, rode on the shoulder for about 150 feet and hit two wooden poles. That sent her car into the water. Clark died at Baptist Hospital yesterday. A child was also riding the car but suffered only minor injuries.
Turning now to politics, News 5 is your local election headquarters. The primary election for U.S. Senate in the books now. Doug Jones, the winner on the Democratic side.
And we will have a runoff election between Luther Strange and Roy Moore on the Republican side.
President Donald Trump took credit for Strange making the runoff today. First, he congratulated both candidates. Then he tweeted, quote, "Wow, Senator Luther Strange picked up a lot of additional support since my endorsement. Now in September runoff, strong on wall and crime."
Let's take a look at the final numbers with 100% reporting. Roy Moore captured 39% of the vote, with Luther Strange receiving 33%. Congressman Mo Brooks got 20% of the statewide vote.
Among Democrats, Doug Jones was the clear winner and will face the Republican runoff winner in the general election in December. Last night, Jones got about 2/3 of the vote. Mobile's Robert Kennedy Jr. finished second with 18%.
Among the Democrats, that is what we just looked at, but let's talk about some of the dates you need to remember. The runoff between Moore and Strange will be held on Tuesday, September 26th. The winner will face Jones in the general election on December 12th. And don't forget about next week. Voters in the city of Mobile will head to the polls to decide the next mayor of Mobile and city council positions.
And thousands of you watched our mayoral debate on Monday. Tonight, News 5's Bill Riles looks at some of the key issues discussed and does a little fact-checking.
One of the topics that affects a lot of people, including Mobile Mardi Gras associations, the fate of the aging Civic Center.
Before we take our options, we've got to know how much it's going to cost to fix it. That we don't know, but we will know in September, and that'll give us the leverage to make the right decision.
Everyone here remembers you saying you were going to tear it down, that you were going to demolish it.
And that's true. Mayor Stimson wavered on demolition of the Civic Center when it became apparent Mardi Gras groups were not happy about the uncertain future.
And we really wanted to work with the mayor.
In January 2015, the mayor set the deadline of April 2016.
And we'll be well on our pathway to something that will replace it.
But by November 2015, the deadline was pushed back to March 1st, 2018. At the same time, Mayor Stimson was open about the reasons for the delay and about his decision to want to close the Civic Center, which leads us to the topic of transparency. We looked at the current administration's record on transparency after the door to the mayor's office was famously taken down in a symbolic gesture.
What was not told is that there are 2 sets of security doors you have to get through to get to that door.
That's true, but it was also true under 2 terms with Sam Jones as mayor, who from a reporter's standpoint was much harder to get an interview with. A News 5 investigation in May looked at issues getting information from Mobile Police and from municipal court, issues that persisted under both Jones and now Mayor Stimson. And municipal elections set for next Tuesday, August 22nd. Reporting from the newsroom, Bill Riles, News 5.
Well, we had another hot, humid day, and some people even got some showers.
Let's check in with Alan Seals, find out what we can expect the rest of the evening.
We can expect pretty much what we have right now. So look at that heat index, feeling like 102 degrees, simply because the dew point is in the mid-70s, and in the distance, you see what we're going to get. Cumulus clouds, and that, from the bottom of that cloud, sitting right over the Mobile-Tensaw Delta, that's rain. It's a little thunderstorm. It's not really moving very much. It's due east of Satsuma. You'll notice also some showers near Nubbin Ridge in Baker, Florida. A couple of flashes of lightning there. And if you're in Washington County, generally west of Highway 17, that's where you've got scattered thunderstorms. So really not that much rain compared to our previous evenings. We'll keep rain coverage at 20% or less tonight. I'll update you, though, on GERT, now a Category 2 and 3 tropical disturbances. It's all in a few minutes.
Thanks, Alan. The debate over Confederate monuments is heating up nationally and is hitting close to home. The state of Alabama and Attorney General Steve Marshall now suing the city of Birmingham and its mayor. Mayor William Bell ordered a Confederate monument in a city park covered with wooden panels. This is video of that monument today. Legislators, though, passed a law earlier this year that prohibited the removal or obstruction of any historic structure in the state more than 40 years old located on public property. The mayor says his office is looking at ways to challenge that law in court.
The monument debate has also landed on the Gulf Coast. The mayor of Pensacola has come out and said he wants the monuments gone. Tonight at 6, News 5's Catrice Nolan explains what has to happen first before that happens.
Coming up, 8 baby pelicans will be released into the wild later this week, where they came from and the loving people who cared for them when we come back.
And get out your phones because you have a few minutes left to vote in today's Facebook poll between Roy Moore and Luther Strange in the Republican runoff. We're going to explain why we're going to need a lot more votes in this very strange poll.
Call Don Hembry Heating and Air to get a complete system tune-up for $69.95.
Share your back-to-school photos with us. WKRG News 5, your back-to-school station.
Yes, I'm a smoker. And yes, I'm aware I should quit. I get pressure from everyone I love and everything around me.
Smoking is really, really bad for you.
Yet sometimes that pressure alone is enough to make me want to light up.
Quit your way with Tobacco-Free Florida. With free patches, text messaging, emails, phone, group, and web coaching. Call or visit tobaccofreeflorida.com.
Once a year savings at Chris Myers Buick, and they are exceptional. 20% off. Buy a new 2017 Chris Myers Buick Enclave with leather, or buy a new Buick Encore. Your choice. And with up to 20% off. Save thousands while they last. An exceptional time to buy at Chris Myers Buick in Daphne. ChrisMyers.com.
This mosquito spreads West Nile and Zika viruses to people, but right now it's busy spreading heartworms to a dog. You don't want it biting you. Why let it bite your dog? Double Defense Protection uses Vector 3D for dogs to kill and repel mosquitoes on the outside and a heartworm preventive to kill heartworm larvae on the inside. Research shows Double Defense protects your dog better than using a heartworm preventive alone. Stop the mosquito. Stop heartworm transmission. Ask your veterinarian about Double Defense and how you can save $25.
Get your First Alert Storm Team forecast on 104.1 WDLT. Smooth hits from the 80s, 90s, and today.
Welcome back to News 5 at 5. The baby pelicans that were rescued after Tropical Storm Cindy earlier this summer will be released later this week. The birds washed ashore off the Mississippi Gulf Coast and were brought to the Environmental Studies Center in Mobile. The birds were too young to be released back into the wild, so the staff at the center cared for them over the past several months. According to biologist Susan Clements, they are healthy enough to go back into the wild. On Friday, the 8 pelicans will be released off to the west end of Dauphin Island, and a National Animal Rescue television show will be there to document their release.
Tonight in the Web Center, we're asking our WKRG Facebook fans about the big runoff election coming up in Alabama.
Yeah, we have 2 polarizing figures in the Republican race, Luther Strange and Roy Moore.
News 5's J.B. Buno, not a polarizing figure. He joins us live in the Web Center. J.B., no pun intended, but I'm hearing we have some strange results so far.
Yeah, strange, Pete, in that there aren't a lot of results to talk about. We have the most Facebook fans of any page in the southern half of the state here in Alabama, and I'm going to tell you, with all the Facebook polls that we've ever done, we've never seen such a tepid response to this question. In particular here, who's your pick in the Republican runoff between former Chief Justice Roy Moore and current Senator Luther Strange? And here are the results. Moore comes out on top with 61% of the vote to Luther Strange's 39%. But really, I mean, look at that total there, 129 votes. Now, despite this poll reaching more than 60,000 people today, again, we only got 129 votes, one of the most unpopular Facebook polls we've ever conducted. This comes a night after, lower than expected voter turnout, which was reported to be just about 18%. And you got to wonder if turnout is going to be even lower for the runoff on September 26th. Pete, we talked about this a lot last night. These are 2 guys who have made their fair share of controversial headlines, and now, we're starting to see their unpopularity sort of, be evident here on Facebook.
As they say in the political world, they have high negatives, both of them, and that, if our polls any indication, could impact that turnout coming up in 6 weeks or so.
Make September 26th even that much more fascinating.
All right, thanks, JB.
I want to tell you about a tragic situation in West Africa. At least 400 people are dead and 600 more missing after a mudslide over the weekend in Sierra Leone. Rescue workers using heavy equipment and even their bare hands are now saying that the chances of finding survivors are slim to none. At least 3,000 people are now homeless.
Now, Alan Seals with First Alert Weather.
Our local skies keep changing. This is a live view from our Alpha Sky Cam here at News 5. A pretty scene, the crunchy cumulus clouds growing taller and taller. And the taller they get, the more likely you're going to see rain from them. Notice how bright it is elsewhere, though. That's part of the reason why today was a little hotter than our last couple of days. We are still at 90 degrees here at News 5. It feels like 104, so mornings, that's the time to get out before the heat builds in. Richard Chris was on Perdido Key looking off toward the east this morning, and he saw one tall cumulus cloud, another tall cumulus cloud that was actually being blown over behind it. So it makes sort of an interesting scene. Always good pictures around here. And also this morning, Barbara Fretwell on Mobile Bay captured the tinted rays of the sun coming from the east and illuminating the top of a thunderstorm cloud. So take the time to enjoy all of our sights if the mosquitoes aren't getting you and if the humidity's not beating you down. But look closely, there's not that much rain, relatively speaking, this afternoon. Now, if you're in Washington County from Milry southward toward Fruitdale and Chatham, you do have isolated thunderstorms. They are slowly drifting eastward, crossing Highway 17, a couple of thunderstorms in Clark County, also in northern Okaloosa County, and then one right on the Mobile-Tensas Delta drifting toward the I-65 high-rise bridge. Your rain coverage this evening, not that high, 20% or less. Good opportunity to catch a rainbow. The sun's behind you, the rain's in front of you. You might see one. Later tonight, we hold in the 70s. We keep our rain coverage less than 10%. In the Atlantic Ocean, Hurricane Gert, now a Category 2 with winds of 100 miles an hour, still moving rapidly northeastward at 31 miles an hour. What that means is it's not going to last that long. It's going to shear itself apart, but still harmlessly stay in the open waters of the Atlantic. So while Gert goes north, we look to the east, and there are a couple of systems here, a couple of tropical disturbances. There actually is a third one right off the coast of Africa. Doesn't yet have a designation, but we watch all of these to see what they may do. Now, look farther to the east, into the Pacific. That's what happens there all the time this time of the year. We'll keep watching to see if any becomes an issue. In your forecast tomorrow, the Green and Phillips forecast, we're talking 30% chance of needing an umbrella, so it's not going to be as wet of a day, but look at the trend. Thursday to Friday to Saturday, rain coverage goes back up to 50%, and right now it looks like it goes down to 30% for next Monday's eclipse.
Coming up, fans from around the world gathering in Graceland to remember the rock and roll legend Elvis Presley. Special events are planned for tonight to mark the 40th anniversary of his death. We'll tell you about that when we come back.
At Southern Cancer Center, our patients receive the very latest treatments with personalized one-on-one care. Let us navigate you from patient to survivor.
Every high school has cliques, jocks, and popular girls. But not every high school has...
Oh, dear.
Sheldon Cooper, boy genius.
That boy has an exposed tattoo. I wonder if he knows that's in violation of the dress code. Mom, look, that girl's pregnant.
Congratulations. 5 minutes into my math class, he questioned my credentials.
Said I was intimidated by his intelligence.
Oral Roberts University is a wonderful school.
Young Sheldon, CBS this fall.
How do you want to live? As a decent person? Good husband? Is that it? Good? Of course not. King of the hill? Better. Top of your game? Win. All powerful. Like a boss. Like a pro. We couldn't agree more. We are professional grade. Step up to GMC and get over $10,000 total value on specially equipped Sierra Crew Cab SLT vehicles. We are professional grade GMC.
Sing along with Stalag 13.
Weeknights at 9 on MeTV Gulf Coast.
Ever wonder how often people actually do this?
You were so caring to walk me through the more.
We get it all the time.
Got it.
Just for doing what we do.
Hashtag convenient. On the road now.
It's nice to know we make a difference.
So how did they help you out? They brought several common sense ideas that help close the deal.
And that a great bank is a really important thing to have. Caring, convenient, common sense. Community bank like no other bank you know.
Now at the Honda Summerbration sales event, you can get a great deal on a Honda Civic and keep things festive all summer long. Your unforgettable summer begins today with a trip to the Honda Summerbration sales event. Hurry in and get a great deal on a Honda Civic from KBB.com's best value brand at your local Honda dealer.
Welcome back to News 5 at 5 o'clock. Tens of thousands of Elvis Presley fans have flocked to Graceland to mark the 40th anniversary of the death of the King of Rock and Roll. Fans gathered around his grave last night for a candlelight vigil, and tonight a memorial service and concert will be held. Decades later, the King's music still resonates with people from around the world. Elvis remains the best-selling solo artist of all time. According to Graceland, Elvis has sold more than 1 billion records worldwide.
Coming up tonight on CBS, a brand new episode of Big Brother kicks things off at 7, followed by back-to-back brand new episodes of Salvation beginning at 8. Then join Roseanne and Mel for News 5 at 10 o'clock.
And coming up, a photo has gone viral for all the right reasons. The heartwarming story behind the photo when we come back.
Keep your family safe this hurricane season by registering to win a free weather radio at WKRG.com. We'll announce the winner of the week on Friday during News 5 at 6 p.m.
Brought to you by BALDWIN EMC.
A better way to buy new Nissans. You can be sure it's what we do best at Chris Myers Nissan.
When our customers say jump, we say how high.
this is a first. New 2017 Altima, $16,988 or $50 down, $50 a week. Don't let bad credit keep you away. Need a bailout? Whatever it takes. Chris Myers Nissan. Exit 38 off I-10, 8 minutes from the tunnel. ChrisMyersNissan.com.
Covenant Care provides experienced care for your loved one. Hospice care from a trusted leader. Alzheimer's care for peace of mind. Home health solutions built around you. Choose personalized care for your loved one. Choose Covenant.
There's only one dealership on the Gulf Coast where you can buy a pre-owned vehicle for just $29 down or only $99 a month. Chris Myers Used Car Megastore. Pre-owned vehicles, one-owner trades, pay just $29 down. Over 400 vehicles to choose from. Payments from $99 a month. Others just $29 down or $149 a month. See more, save more. Used buyers, shop Chris Myers. The Chris Myers Used Car Megastore.
Keep your family safe this hurricane season by registering to win a free weather radio at WKRG.com. We'll announce the winner of the week on Friday during News 5 at 6 p.m.
Brought to you by BALDWIN EMC.
Top quality used cars with a lifetime warranty. Now get more than ever before on over 1,000 used cars at Eastern Shore Toyota. Every make, every model, luxury, domestic, import, and more. We've got them all with a lifetime warranty. That's right, you're covered for life. But that's not all. You also get identity protection, theft protection, and more, all at no extra cost. Experience worry-free driving with a lifetime warranty on used cars at Eastern Shore Toyota.
Call Roto-Rooter for expert drain cleaning services at 1-800-GET-ROTO.
Welcome back to News 5. Two photos taken more than a decade apart are touching hearts across the country.
Both photos show a man walking his son to school, one on the first day of kindergarten, the other on the first day of college.
Dad hasn't changed too much.
Not at all.
The son has. The photos were tweeted by Mississippi State freshman Charles Brockman III over the weekend.
I saw those photos on Facebook and I thought that was such a clever idea. I loved it.
I liked it too. Thanks so much for watching, everyone. The CBS Evening News is next.
WKRG aerial footage, sponsored by Green & Phillips.